Thank you very much again, everyone. I am overwhelmed absolutely by the level of enthusiasm evinced by your presence and your participation, and also you stayed for the whole morning and also this session. I imagine it's the same number of people I saw, but perhaps 5 left, or a very small number who had alerted to us the fact that they had time constraints with other obligations. But I'm really impressed by your presence throughout the day. I wish to thank you first and foremost. We have heard the length and breadth of what is Rwanda, from the overview of the country, the opportunities, and also the challenges. And if we really put it on scale, I think we have more positive than challenges. And for each challenge that was mentioned, there was also quickly following after a way to circumvent it. In fact, that each challenge is an opportunity in the making, or an opportunity in disguise. If we look at the taxes, I think all the presenters who talked about the taxes as a challenge did mention how they were ready to pay taxes as a responsibility. And also, I think what was not mentioned is in countries where there is no accountability in terms of fiscal management or in terms of transparency, and there is bribery, nobody can really mention how much that is if you weigh it against taxes. So transparency and taxes, you can never really compare those two, because what you lose in bribes in other countries, you will not lose in Rwanda, and that is nowhere comparable to being responsible and accountable and paying your taxes. So if we look at education, for example, a number of initiatives have been undertaken by the government, both in sourcing skills from outside, from within the neighborhood in our region. We have mentioned people who are coming from Kenya with hotel experience. For the short term, those are short-term stopgap measures to fill the gap that is required in order to bring the economy up to speed. In-sourcing has been not only bringing in skill sets from neighboring countries, but also in-sourcing brain suction of Rwandan brains from abroad, and that has been done successfully. And this is a unique trend in a region where, in fact, the brain drain has been the norm, and we have seen a lot of immigration outside of the country to seek better opportunities. What we see is a positive trend of brain suction, brain gain. So that is a positive trend, and within the skills gap, this is something that is for the short term also, but provides opportunities for people who are into skills development to also get into the market and make a profit in the process. I think that every challenge really is an opportunity, and that has been emphasized enough. One of the aspects that was touched upon that I would like to just remind you is that Rwanda's success story has been partly due to Rwanda seeking solutions from within, recreating ourselves, using our own mechanisms, and reinventing our own selves using traditional mechanisms that had been put on the back burner. And we have also been blessed with good friends like the Netherlands and other development partners. I think that we are debunking the whole myth of development aid. Personally, I think the word or the phrase development aid is an oxymoron. You can't develop on aid. So I like the new phraseology, development cooperation. I like also, as it pertains to the private sector, wealth creation. Those terminologies, I think, are positive, but also are very apt in describing. In the same scheme of reinventing ourselves and using traditional mechanisms, I think Bob Vanderbilt mentioned the scheme that we have in Rwanda every month. The cleaning is not the cleaning scheme. In fact, cleaning happens before dawn, before everybody's on the streets. So when you wake up, the towns are spick and span, because all of that happens before dawn. I was very privileged last year when I was visiting Rwanda in May to be in the trenches with my colleague, Ambassador Francois, involved in one of those traditional, again, local schemes called Umuganda, which is a project, something that has been around since we know ourselves as a community, where every month everyone participates in a community service of sorts. So I think the monthly service is community service that everybody is encouraged in. And at that time I was with my colleague, together with the members of the diplomatic corps in Rwanda and also leaders of the international organizations in part of this social responsibility for the diplomatic corps. I think Rwanda has used these mechanisms to demonstrate unintentionally. I think we were just trying to do the best we could, but unintentionally and yielded what is the success story we see today, that we can reinvent ourselves using traditional mechanisms and not necessarily waiting for someone to come and give us the blueprint. Because as we know, the blueprint for the Netherlands does not necessarily map exactly to the blueprint for Rwanda. There's no cookie-cutter solution, and only local solutions can be applicable to a local context. In Kinyarwanda, we have a proverb that goes like says, and I think that you'll understand me, Mr. Amadian, and hopefully Mr. Apollon as well. It goes like akundi kazi mvura ihise, which means the benevolence of the outsider comes after the rain. I think it's pretty much self-explanatory there. What I see here is, as a next step, I think you have mentioned, we have the blessing right now of the, I can use an example of courtship. In the good old days in Rwanda, courtship was between families. A bride-to-be and a groom-to-be never participated in the consultations. Families did the consultation, but with the understanding that the bridegroom and the bride and bridegroom would go along. What I see here, if I can use this analogy, again using along the lines of using our traditional mechanisms or our traditional context to understand things, what I see here is we have the two business communities in Rwanda and in the Netherlands as the bridegroom and bride-to-be. And what I see in this is the first step to the courtship process in the Rwandan context. The blessing of the conducive environment, the friendship of the two countries, exemplified in the good relations we have bilaterally between the Netherlands and the Rwandan government. We have here representatives from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, representatives from the Ministry of Economic Affairs, Agriculture and Innovation, ELNI. That's the enabling environment we want. That is, I think they have gone to great lengths to explain what is available. And bridegroom, bride, please pay attention. This is the first day of courtship. Background work has been done by ministries, the embassies so far. The bride and groom have been looking at each other with much interest, but shyness. But they're paying attention to all of this goodwill. We also have the goodwill of close relatives like NABC, who are going to provide the grease. Usually, what happens in the Rwandan culture, the first preliminary talks over a drink, and that's what we're going to have in a little bit. So the next time, this being an agricultural country, this being I would want to say cow country, and Rwanda being also another cow country, traditionally in Rwanda, next time, the next step, you have to come with cows. So I will now ask, I'll make sure that Mr. Van der Waal knows that next time when we are planning this business trip to Rwanda, that you have announced that we are going to take very seriously, that we are welcoming, remember to involve cows, because that is a tradition. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank our esteemed speakers who have given us wonderful presentations. I want to thank the co-organizers of this, RC Thank you. Everyone, do have a lovely evening as we celebrate this first day of courtship between the Netherlands business community and the Rwandan business community. Thank you very much. Have a lovely night.
Of course, I have hardly to add something to these kind words. I think it was a great day, and that is also to you as an audience. And this was amazing how many professionals we have in this room, and all these people are at least now have Rwanda top on their mind, and let's go as fast as possible in the next steps. We go for the drink, and that was time. It was a long day, and the drink is with some canapé, some snacks for you, and I'm very happy that our Dutch embassy in Rwanda offers the drinks. So we still have the whole castle. It is over there upstairs. You can use the garden, and please take your time for